Hey guys, welcome back to another Unreal Engine 4 tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a countdown timer, so you can make this countdown from any time you want, from minutes and seconds, all the way down to 0, and when it gets to 0, it will give you a game over screen or anything that you'd like to put in there. So I'll quickly show you what this looks like now. So as you can see, up at the top we have 1 minute 10 seconds, and it's going down. As it gets to 1 minute, it should then go down to 59 seconds, so the seconds are decreasing. Now the minute has gone down, it's gone to 59 seconds, and then when this goes down to 0, we'll see something else happen. But as you can see, the seconds are going down every second, and the minute went down as well. So as you can see, we have 5 seconds left, so it's gone down to 3, 2, and if I jump, so I'm in the air, 1. The game has now paused. When we got to 0 seconds, it's paused, and if I hit retry, we can now load in the game, and the timer starts over again. So I'll show you how to make this very quick and easy timer now. So I'll just delete all the code that I've got, and I'll get right into it. So now that I've reset everything, let's start. So what we're going to do first is open up our character blueprint, as that is where we're going to be building all of this code. Now, if you want this to be for multiple players, you can do this in your game mode blueprint, which is, for me, the third-person game mode. But I just want this to be for a local player, so it's different for each player, so I'm going to do this in the third-person character. That way it's a lot easier for me. So if I then open that character up, so mine's third-person character, yours will be first, or whatever you've named it, and then we'll just find some space, and we'll get the event tick. Now, if you've already used the event tick, and so you can't use it again, if you just drag off of it, and get a sequence, this allows you to then use it multiple times. So you can go off of then 0 and then 1 and use it multiple times. But I'm just going to be getting event tick like so. And then if you hold down D and get a delay like so, you can do that and plug that into event tick. And obviously I'm going to set this to 1 as I want this to happen every 1 second. So then again, if we hold down B and left click, we get a branch. So we can then do a true or false statement and checker to see if the seconds is equal to 0 or not. So therefore, we need to now create our seconds variable. So if we hit the variable there, we'll create seconds, make sure this is an integer up in the top right, and then we'll also create a minutes variable as well. Now you can do hours as well, but you wouldn't normally need that in a game, so I'm just doing seconds and minutes. So if we compile, we can set the default values, which is how long we want it to be. So I'm just going to set this to 10 seconds and 1 minute, meaning that we have 1 minute and 10 seconds in this game, just so I can show you how it all works. So obviously, if you want this to be 5 minutes, change the minutes to 5, seconds to 0 by default. So then again, like I said, we're going to be checking to see if the seconds is 0. So if I just drag in the seconds there, get seconds, drag off of that, get an equal integer like so, leave that as 0, plug the condition into there, the condition of the branch there. So this basically sees every second, if the seconds is equal to 0, it will do what we want. So if it isn't equal to 0, we want to decrease the seconds by 1, so we're counting down. So off of the false, we're going to set that. So if we just again drag in and get seconds, then we drag off of this and get a minus integer, so integer minus integer. Now you can get a decrement integer, however you want to pronounce it, like that, as that just will take away 1. However, I'm just going to be using the minus as it makes more sense, especially for beginners. And it means we don't have to plug in so many stuff. But like I say, that will work as well. But this just allows you to customize it more if you want. So then we'll drag off of the return value for this, and we're just going to set our seconds. So actually, I'll drag in the seconds again, set off of false, plug that in there like so. So now if the seconds is not equal to 0, what we're going to do is just get the seconds, take 1 off of it, and set the seconds again, meaning that we are now counting down. So that's perfect. Now what we're going to do is if the seconds is equal to 0, we want to take 1 off of the minutes. As we've then surpassed a whole minute, we want to take that off. So to do that, we're going to get minutes, so drag and drop, get minutes, and then we're going to drag off this and get another equal integer. Again, leave that as 0, and we'll come off of this and get another branch with that as a condition, plug that into true like so. So once again, if the minutes is equal to 0, because if it is equal to 0, then we finish the timer and we'll end the game. But for the moment, we'll go off of false. So if the minutes isn't 0, then we're going to take a minute off. So what we want to do is set the seconds back to 60. So if we drag seconds on there, set, we're going to set this to 59. So it then starts counting down again, because otherwise it will just start going to the minus. And then what we're going to do is set the minutes. So again, get minutes there, drag off of this, do another -1, so integer minus integer, drag out of that, and set the minutes. So set minutes there, with the return value going in there, like so. If I just move this out, we'll see what this does at the moment. So what we're doing is every 1 second, we're going to see if the seconds is equal to 0. If it isn't, we're going to take 1 second off. And if it is, we're going to see if the minutes is equal to 0. And if it's not, we'll reset the seconds up to 59. And the minutes, we'll take 1 off and set that again. So before we create the finish games part, we'll do is compile, and we'll make 2 widgets. So if we minimize this again, right click, user interface, widget blueprint, I'm just going to call this one timer. You can name this whatever you like. I'll do that again, right click, user interface, and I'll call this one game over, again, and name this whatever you like. And what I'm going to do is just open both of those up like so. I'll do the game over one first, as this is going to be a lot easier and quicker to do. If I just drag in a button, put that where I want, so I'm just going to put this in the middle of the screen like so, like that, and then I'm going to get some text, place it on there. I'm just going to put retry in here. Again, customize this however you want or do something completely different. It doesn't matter. This is just what I want to do. So I do that, and then we go down. So select the button again, go down and get the on-clicked event. We're going to come out of this and just simply open level. And you want to make sure that the level name is the exact same name for the level you want to open. So for me, this will be third person example map, like so. And that is that part done. That's all we need to do there. Again, do whatever you like here. I may just add a background blur here just to make it look a little nicer. But this isn't too necessary for the countdown timer. This is just the functionality of the end game afterwards, like so. And then if you get that, what you're going to want to do is just change the Z order to -1 to put it behind the button. And then there you have that working. So we compile and save that and go back to the timer widget now. So now this is where we're actually going to display the timer for the player to see. So we just drag in a text box up here. I'm just going to select it, anchor it to the middle there so I can get a reference to where it needs to be. I'll put size to content. I'll name this one minutes, as this will make our life easier later on. And the text I'll just put to 00, like so. And I'll put this up here near where I want it. Maybe make the font a little bigger. Let's say 30, like so. And then I'll get another one, so I can just Control-C, Control-V that one. This one I'll just put as colon like that. So the colon in between the minutes and seconds. Place this where I want it. So I'm going to want it there. And then do that again. This one I'm going to call seconds, as that's what we want this to be. But again, leave it at 00, and then put it where you want it in relation to all of this. So now I have this all working. Make sure that the anchors are all in the middle, and then move this over to the center where you'd like it. So I think that will be good for me. So that now works. So we now have the timer set up there. But now we need to actually create the code behind this for this to equal the timer that we've just made. So what we're going to do is select the minutes there, which is what makes this easier, because now we know which one is which easier. Then next to text on the right, we're going to hit bind, create binding. Now we're just simply going to input our minutes into here. So what we're going to do first is go to the event graph up here. Off of event construct, we're going to get all actors of class, like so. The actor class is going to be our character, where we put all of the timing blueprint. So mine is the third person character. Out actors, we're going to get a copy, and we're going to right click this return value and promote it to a variable. I'm going to call this character reference or charref, like that, and just plug that in there. And this just means we can easily access the character blueprint in later code without having to cast to it each time. So this is essentially casting to it, meaning we don't need to do it again. Then go back to this bind here, get minutes. I'm going to drag in that character reference there. So get, drag off of this, I'm going to get minutes, like so. So now we have our minutes variable there. And I'm just going to simply drag off this, put that in the return value like that to get a toText integer node like so. Open that up, and I'm going to change the minimum integral digit to 2 and the maximum also to 2. And what this means is that there will always be 2 digits on screen. So if it gets to 0, it won't just put 0. Or if it gets to 1, it won't just put 1, it will put 0, 1 or 0, 0. It just looks a lot nicer, and it's actually how a clock and timer would work. So now let's just do the exact same thing for the seconds. So we can close that, go back to designer up in the top right, select the seconds, again, bind, create binding, move this over, get the character reference. This time we're going to drag out and get seconds instead of minutes, and then do the exact same thing. Plug that in there, open it up, change it both to 2, like so. And now we have put the timer on screen as well. So we're nearly done. We can save and close that. And then back in the character blueprint, we want to set up the game over code. So again, we're going to come off of true. So if seconds is 0 and minutes equals 0, so we've now finished the timer and basically the game's over, we're going to create that code. So we'll come off of true, like so, and we're going to create widget, like that. The class will be our game over widget that we have just created. Then off the return value, we're obviously just going to drag out and add to viewport, like so. And then we'll come out of this, and we're going to untick context sensitive, and we'll set show mouse cursor, so we can then click the replay button, or retry button, sorry. The target will be get player controller. You may want to retick context sensitive up there, get player controller like so. And then we'll come out of this again, and set game paused, and we're going to tick that to make the game paused. So now we can end the game. So if the minutes is 0, so we finish the timer, we'll create our game over widget that we've just made, we'll add that to the viewport, we'll show our mouse cursor, so actually we need to tick that as well, and then we'll also pause the game like that. And one final thing, we can compile, save, and close that. Then we'll go to blueprints, and open level blueprint up here. We'll get event, begin play, and we're just going to create our timer widget. So if we then create widget, the class of our timer countdown that we made, then again, return value, add to viewport, and this just means we can see the timer on screen when we start the game. So again, we can compile, save, and close this. Now if we hit play, we can see that up on screen we have 1 minute 10, 1 minute 9, 1 minute 8. The seconds is going down. We have the 2 values there, so it's not just 1 and 3, it's 103. And now it's gone to 1 minute, it's gone down to 59. So the minutes has gone down, the seconds has gone back to 59, and it is decreasing once again. So now again, I'll speed this up and get back to you when it's getting down to 5 seconds. So the timer is about to finish. But as you can see, the seconds are going down each second, like a normal timer countdown would do. So we've got 5 seconds left. As you can see, the seconds are still going down. And then when we hit 0, the game should pause. Like so, the game's paused. We've got our mouse cursor here as well. The game's paused, we've got our mouse cursor, and we have our game over widget. So we have our retry button here. If I press that, as well as the background blur, if I press this button, the game's restarted, so we've opened up our level, and now we have the timer back up at the top, like so. So I think that'll be it for this video. So we've done everything we want to do. We've created a countdown timer to go from any time that we like. So if you want to change it, you can just open up the character blueprint and change the minutes and seconds variables here. So if I set the minutes to 5, seconds to 30, this will be 5 minutes and 30 seconds, like so. So you can see up there, it will now work the exact same, just with a longer time. And so the time will go down each and every second, and when it gets to 0, the minutes will go down and the seconds will go back to 59. And when it gets to 0 minutes and 0 seconds, it will play the game over screen or any line of code that you want. You just come off of that true value. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe down below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.